I don't think the April Nintendo Direct is going to happen at this point. I said it. I know a lot of people don't want to hear those words when we talk about Nintendo Directs, but I don't know. Nintendo's in kind of a weird spot right now. What's going on, everybody? My name is Harrison, and welcome to the channel. Gonna be a relatively quick video. Just wanted to talk about my thoughts on this April Direct. It's been kind of in the rumor mill for a couple of months now. I don't know. It's like every time something doesn't happen, like the next day, everybody's kind of like coping with it, and all the leakers out there are like, well, actually, I heard maybe there's some inklings of maybe something going on in April. This is back in the February Direct where we didn't get a proper Nintendo Direct in February. We got the Indie Direct. So it's always, and I don't know. I don't follow a lot of like Xbox and PlayStation leakers, so maybe it's the same exact thing, but I feel like Nintendo specifically is so targeted with rumors. And I guess I feel like generally in gaming, Nintendo Directs are like the biggest things. Like people like the state of plays and like the Xbox developer directs and stuff like that, but Nintendo Directs are like, they feel really special, even though a lot of times they kind of disappoint us, but they always feel special. They always feel like an event where like everybody comes together and everybody's watching it. Hoping something gets announced that's really cool. But yeah, it's honestly a little bit annoying because, like I said, it's like these leakers, they come out and they'll say one thing, and if it doesn't come true, they backpedal and they're like, well, actually, I didn't want to say this before, but I've got inkling. It's pretty obnoxious. So yeah, I just don't think we're gonna get an April Direct at this point. I don't honestly. I don't think we're probably gonna get anything until maybe June. And I know people are like, well, they've got, Mario, they've got Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion coming out in May and June. They need to have a Direct to show off more trailers. I don't think they do. If you've been watching Nintendo for like the last year and a half, they've been doing a lot of, and even longer than that, they've been doing a lot of like, people are calling like, Twitter Directs or whatever, where they just kind of release a bunch of trailers and stuff for upcoming games. So I don't think a Direct is needed for those games. I mean, they're both remakes, and there's relatively a lot of hype for those games. They're remakes. They're not the Zelda remakes that everybody's been wanting on the Switch. They're really good games, but they're just remakes. I don't feel like they need to be included in a. I don't feel like Nintendo needs to have a Direct so they can show off those games. They can just drop a trailer on YouTube or Twitter or whatever and call it a day. I mean, we got the release dates for Mario Day for those games on March 10th. So again, Nintendo's in a very weird spot with all the reporting that from the various media outlets that the Switch 2 had an internal delay, which everyone said the Switch 2 is delayed. It wasn't delayed because it wasn't ever announced, but something can be internally pushed back or delayed. That is definitely a possibility. Maybe things weren't lining up. Maybe some of the games that were supposed to launch with the Switch Switch 2 weren't quite ready yet. And you got to launch with a pretty solid lineup for people to want the system. I mean, people are going to buy the system just because it's a new piece of hardware, but you've also got to have really good games for the people that aren't hardcore into gaming. They need that reason. So if they drop a new, I think it's pretty safe to say that the next 3D Mario is probably going to be a launch title for the Switch 2. I mean, we haven't had one since 2017, which is insane to me that we've only gotten one like new 3D Mario game in 7 years. But so yeah, if the game's already, they may have made that decision to push back the Switch 2. I think that makes a lot of sense. So with that being said, because just the way Nintendo's kind of handled this year so far in terms of announcements, because it's been such a dry year right now for Nintendo, which bums me out because like Nintendo's probably my favorite gaming company out there. I just love all the news from them and all the directs and all that stuff. So with the Switch 2 reportedly being delayed until 2025, again, it could absolutely come out this year. We have no idea. Nothing is certain until Nintendo comes out and says it. So we have no idea. But with the way they've handled like the news this year, it makes sense for the Switch 2 to be pushed. And with it being pushed, that kind of throws everything out the window for what Nintendo typically does. You know, we're so used to having a full line Nintendo Direct in February. We didn't get that. You know, you look at July, you know, I believe if you go back and look, there has been a Nintendo published game every July since the Switch has come out. That may not happen this year. We have no idea, because we haven't had a Direct yet, so we don't know what the latter half of 2024 looks like. You know, and then, you know, typically we get some sort of June Direct. I think we may get a June Direct, and Nintendo will give us a little bit of a look into the latter half of 2024. I don't know if they're going to have any major games. Potentially, you know, Jeff Grubb did say he heard something in May was happening for Metroid Prime 4, but that was kind of an old source or something like that. So that may not even be the case anymore. I still think Metroid Prime 4 is going to happen on the Switch, and I think that's probably going to be like the final game the final big game we're going to get on the Switch. It'll also, you know, launch on Switch 2 as well, that have that kind of that cross generation release cadence like most companies do. So I think June is probably when we're gonna get the next Direct. I know that's a long time from now. Not really, but in terms of, because the news has been so dry with Nintendo, that feels like forever. So yeah, it sucks to think about that, but I just don't think April is gonna happen at this point. I know we're not even halfway through April yet, so we could get one next week. I think it just makes more sense for them to just hold on to their cards and, you know, and then just hold them to their hand and then just wait until June to have their kind of their normal Direct. And then maybe we'll get a Direct in September, and that's when they will finally reveal the Switch 2 with the release date of March or, you know, of 2025 or whatever the case is. That's a possibility. So I just wanted to talk about that. And I think it's okay, right? You know, I think people, and one thing with Nintendo is like the Nintendo fans is people get genuinely mad when the Switch, you know, when it's supposed, like when all the leakers say that they're supposed to be a Direct this week or get announced this week and that doesn't happen, people get mad and let it ruin their day, which is insane. You know, I love gaming, I love Nintendo, but man, like there's so much other stuff to play right now. Like my backlog is starting to get bigger and bigger. Like there's so many great games coming out. Just finished up Dragon's Dogma 2. I just recently bought a PS5, so I'm diving back into Demon's Souls to finish that, and play some other PlayStation 5 games. Stellar Blade comes out at the end of this month. It looks incredible. So yeah, if you're just a Nintendo fan, that's all you play. Yeah, I could see why this year has kind of stunk so far for you. But you know, if you play on everything like I do, like there's always stuff to play. There's always stuff to look forward to. You know, we've got an Xbox Direct coming in June. We got Summer Games Fest coming up in a couple months. PlayStation is rumored to have a State of Play next month, which I think is huge, and I kind of want to do a separate video on that. I feel like they need this next State of Play to really hit, because the last one was terrible with all the live service games that they announced, and then some of them got canceled, and you know, all that situation. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this situation, about the April. Do you still have high hopes that it's coming, or you still think it's coming in April, or do you think it's probably not going to come until June? Heck, I mean, we could get a May one. I don't know. Like Nintendo's been so weird the last like year or so with their news and how they release information. So I feel like Nintendo's a wild card right now. They can literally do whatever they want. And do anything they want. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.